Hello everyone, I'm RiverFox and welcome back to the channel, and today we are carrying on with our Plankerton AFK Endurance builds series. Now you can check out the playlist which will be linked in the description down below. That's going to cover all of the amplifiers and the builds which I have set for them. But today we are going to be carrying on. We are going to be doing what is, in my case, Amplifier B, and this is the one which is directly to the south of your map, just over here. So today we're going to be covering the builds for the east spawn. Now some of these builds will link in a little bit to some of the other builds, like the main lobber shield which is set up all over here. That is all being covered for that amplifier over there because it is a dual spawn. You will get spawns appearing here for both amplifier A and for amplifier B as well. So you can check all of this out. That will be covered in the playlist in the other videos, so do check them out if you need those. But for everything else we will be covering it today. So for this one we've got a few different sort of setups for this, and it's mainly aimed at recycling them as much as possible. And yeah, they will be spawning from around this point here. Now if you have set this amplifier here, then these builds may not work for you as well. You may need to have a look for some other builds, but unfortunately I've never placed this amplifier, so I don't know if the spawn points will change and be in different places if you have placed it. They're more likely going to be from further up the mountain, but I don't know. So for this one we haven't got this amp placed here, so they're going to spawn at this point here. Now from this they've got a few directions they can go. They will either come and go down this direction here, which they will start heading towards our amplifier up there. Now they can, in some of the later waves, they can try and break through some of the block off which we've got set here, so that is why some of these have got some traps placed on them, but we'll go into that in detail later on. Majority will try and come around this direction here, and as they do, as they come up further and further up this this sort of ramp, they are going to get flung off and over somewhere around that direction there. So then they've got to walk all the way back over, and sometimes they will, if it's smashers and the smasher waves, they will only get knocked down here. So we just got a few extra traps just to push them further down, to force them to come back around this direction, and pretty much sort of repeat the process. Now the other direction that they can go as well is over here. They can go up this little ramp here, or they can go up this bigger ramp at the back. They are pretty much the same sort of thing. They are just wall launchers which are going to fling them back down all the way over here and make them start again. So the only reason we've got a slight little bit of sort of room in here is for any of the smashers. If they do decide to take the long route round, then generally they don't really make it out through the other side of here. They will get taken out in the process. Now as I said, you can get some in the later waves which are going to try and break through. There's a natural ramp which runs up this section, so we've blocked it all off to force them to go in our trap tunnels, so they may try and break some of these going through. So we do have a lot of block off set up here as well. This is more especially for the mini bosses. They can be a right pain. They don't like to take the long route round, and they will sometimes go and smash through all of this to get up to our amplifiers. So that's why that is set up in there, and just some more block off in there, and some anti-air traps which we'll go into later on as well. So that is pretty much the build. So what we are going to do, we are going to start off at our amplifier and get that bit built first. Now for this build then, we have got literally just this basic sort of boxed shape around the amplifier shape here, and I do have a few sort of wall darts and things set up on the sides, because the mini bosses do come for this amplifier, and they can go through all of our lovely little launchers and everything that we've got here, and they don't take any damage, so they can actually make it fully up to our amp. So we've just got some retractable spikes on the floor here, as this is the main sides they will be attacking. We've got some wall darts on the sides, and that is pretty much it, just to take care of any mini bosses if they do decide to come this way. And we've just blocked it all off to make sure that nothing can ever cause any damage to the amp itself. So from here, once you have done all that, we're then going to go all the way down to the bottom. It's easier if we start down the bottom here, because you will notice we do have some natural ramps here as well, and we've got some sections which are raised up off the ground, so we need to go and start down the bottom just to make things easier for you. Now we're going to start over at this natural ramp, which is here. Now all this has been covered and built already, so you don't need to worry about this. So from this point, you're going to go down to the bottom of this natural ramp, and at the very bottom you're going to place a tar pit on the floor and a sound wall on the left hand side. Now you move forward, but you're going to leave this tile blank, because if you do place a tile in there, then the husks will not be able to get up through this point. But if you do take that tile away, then the husks can then walk back up this section, which if they get flung off down there, then they're going to come around here and they will come back up this way, or they will come up the ramp that we've made for them there. So make sure you do leave this tile blank. Now from this, we are going to, it's quite complicated looking, so I'm going to try and do it the easiest way as possible. So we are going to move forward 1 square, and you will place a tar pit on the floor, a sound wall on the left hand side, and a wall launcher directly in front of you. Now behind this sound wall, you're going to place another sound wall and also a ceiling gas trap up above it. That is for any smashers that do try to sort of sit under this point, smashing at these walls. So that would take care of them. Now on top of our gas trap, we're going to have a tar pit, and we are also going to have a wall launcher directly in front of you there. So that will cover that section. Now on this bit where we've put our wall launcher, you are now going to go on top of that and place a floor piece, just a plain floor piece, and on the left hand side will be a sound wall, and directly in front is going to be a wall launcher. Now forward from this point, you are then going to come up again, and you are going to place another plain floor, another sound wall on the left, and a wall launcher directly in front of you. Now up above this, because this is all here in case they do break through these sections as they are going up, so if they break through it all, then they will break through this floor piece, which will mean they will then get hit by these, and these have all been placed in from our previous build, so you don't need to worry about these will already be up here in place already. So that will do for that section. I'm going to leave everything further back until a bit later on. So we need to come back down here now. Now from this point is where it does start going down this natural sort of step there. So you're going to move to your right 1 square, and you will place a tar pit on the floor. If you then move forward, you're going to place another tar pit on the floor. You're going to have a wall launcher on this left hand side and a sound wall directly in front of you. Now behind this will be an open gap, so you don't need to worry about that, and we will cover all of the block off and everything up there later on as well. Now on your right hand side, you're going to have your edited wall, and this is going to be placed on the left hand side like this. From here, you come back to the first tile that you placed in and move over to your right, and you will have another tar pit on the floor, and in front of you another tar pit on the floor and a edited wall again on the left hand side. Now from here, come back to this square that we've placed, and you are then going to place a ramp which will make them walk up this ramp here, and you are going to place a wall in between it with a sound wall on that wall. And then this tile forward from here, exactly the same, another ramp, and you will have a sound wall on this side as well. This is just to take out any propanes before they actually get to any of our traps. I will cover this section in a moment, so don't worry about that. Okay, from here we now move forward, and you're going to place a ramp going up. So we will place the ramp here, and then on the right hand side you're going to place a wall, and on your left hand side you are going to place a wall with a wall lights on it. You don't need to place any trap on this one, but make sure you do put a wall light on the left hand side. Now up above that you are going to place a sound wall, and at the very top of this this ramp place a edited wall. Make sure it is on the left hand side, just like this. And then if you place a second ramp going up, and on the left you are going to have a wall lights again, and then above that you are then going to have your wall launcher. Now all of these ceiling pieces, we will cover them later on as well. So once you've got all that in and you've got your edited wall on the left hand side, you are then going to come up and place a floor tile with a tar pit on it, and on the left will be a wall launcher. Just in front of you, you're going to have your edited wall on the left hand side like that, and then move forward and you are going to place exactly the same. So you'll have tar pit on the floor, wall launcher on the left, and the edited wall on the left hand side will be just in front. And then move forward another tile and exactly the same again. So tar pit on the floor, wall launcher on the left, and your edited wall directly in front. Now from this point you need to place another ramp going up with a tar pit on it this time. And at this one on your left hand side you will have a wall lights, and then above that will be another wall launcher. Just in front of you, you will have your edited wall on the left hand side. And at the very top of this then, you are going to have a floor piece with a tar pit on it, and in front of that will be a wall launcher, and leave the two sides blank. So from this point, move to your left one tile, you're going to place another tar pit on the floor, and this links into our home base, our amp build. So this wall will be here already, just place a wall launcher on there, and that will cover those sections. This wall which we have got our wall launcher on there, place a broadside in there just to make sure when the mini bosses come up and they are pounding on these walls here that they're going to be taking a lot of damage. So that will cover them. Now from this point where we start heading back down, we need to leave this first tile blank, but you can place one in temporarily just so you can get across to it. And from there you are then going to place some floor tiles with anti-air traps on. So you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and that will have your anti-air traps on it. Okay, now from this point you are then going to place another 4 tiles. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and these ones you don't need to worry about putting the anti-air traps on those, just the floor tiles. So from this tile move to your right and you're going to place another 4 tiles going up as well, and to your right one more, you are going to place 3. So you've got 1, 2 and then 3 on the end. Now from here, if you turn around now to face the west, and we've placed this tile already, so you're going to place another 2 tiles going forward here, and this is going to link up then to all of the traps and things that we have set under here already. This will link up to that. So from this, you're going to want to place in some traps now. So for this, we're going to put in ceiling drop traps, and you're going to place 1, 2, 3 going forward, which is going to fetch you to the end of this tar pit, which we've already placed on the floor. And you don't need to worry about placing any over the rest of the pieces over there. They're literally just there to stop the lobbers, but these are the main routes that the husks are going to take, so we just need to fill those in. So once you've done these 3, at the end of the third one that you've placed in here, you place one on the left, and you will place one going forward towards the west as well. And you will place a second one then on the left hand side of that. And then turning now to face the west again, you are going to come back over to these, and you are going to fill in some ceiling drop traps on these as well. So we've got another 1, 2 and 3, and that will fetch you then to the top of the first initial ramp. So from this one, at this point, you can change it over and put ceiling electric fields in, because there's no point having the drop traps over here. Just put the ceiling electric ones in. So you've got 3 of those, which are going to fetch you to the start of this second bit of ramp. And we can take that one back out now. And that will cover the ceiling traps over here, and that will all be taken care of. So we have done all of these pieces. So we've now got this section over here, which is mainly for our smashers. So at the edge of this ramp, going forward towards the west, you're going to place a tar pit on the floor. You're going to have a wall launcher on the left hand side, and in front of you will be an edited wall on the left, just like this. And you are going to do 4 of these, which will take you all the way over here to the end of this section. So that will be all identical tar pits, wall launchers and edited walls, and that will cover that part for you. Now for the other sections that we've got, now I know we've still got block off to do up there, we will get to that in a minute. So from over here, we are going to come towards this ramp, and if you come to sort of halfway up the ramp, and on the left hand side, you're going to need to place a wall launcher, but we won't be able to place it straight away. So if you come up to the very top of it and place your tar pit on the floor, have your edited wall on the left hand side to make sure any smashers get tipped over the edge. Then on the left, you will have the wall launcher, and then you will be able to place the wall launcher on the left of that as well, like so. And you are going to do exactly the same then for another 2 tiles across. The tar pit on the floor, wall launcher on the left, and your edited wall. Now you don't need to worry about putting any edited wall or anything on the end here. If they do get this far, they're literally just going to drop down to this point anyway, where they'll get flung back off from it. So that's that first ramp. So the second ramp over here is pretty much exactly the same. So you come up to the top of it, place your tar pit on the floor, your wall launcher on the left, and your edited wall on the left hand side down here. And then you can place your wall launcher to the left of that tile. And you are then going to do a second row, which will be the tar pit, wall launcher, and the edited floor again. Now on the next row forward from here, we're going to have the tar pit on the floor, but this time we're going to have the edited wall on the left hand side, which will be edited like this, and directly in front of you will be a wall launcher. Now most of this section up here will definitely be connected up anyway. That will all be in there, so you can just place a ceiling electric field up above this wall launcher. Now from here, if you turn and face your west, move forward 1 square, and we're going to have some retractable floor spikes on this one, because this is our main damage trap area. And on the right hand side, you will have a wall launcher, and directly in front of you will be a edited wall on the right hand side, like so. To your left one square, and you're going to have your retractable floor spike on the floor. This time your edited wall will look like this, and that will be directly in front. On your left will be a broadside, and behind you will be a broadside as well. From here, move forward and place a retractable floor spike again on the floor, a broadside on the left and directly in front of you as well. Move to your right one square, and you'll have another retractable floor spike on the floor, your edited wall on the right hand side like that, and on the right of you then will be a wall launcher. Move forward one more square, and we've got one final section for any smashers with a floor freeze trap on the floor and two broadsides, one on the left and one on the right. Now on this last square we do have some ceiling pieces here as well. So we've also got a blank tile above this broadside, and that is going to attach us to the ceiling. So you're going to place a ceiling piece there with a ceiling electric field on, and pretty much you're going to fill all of these other 4 squares as well, just to fill it all in. So we've got ceiling electric fields to cause massive damage, and just place another wall above this broadside as well, just to make sure it's attached in more than one place so it doesn't get broken. And that is going to cover that section. This, as I said, this has all been done and covered already. So the only other bits that we do have left is our block off. Now we've placed all of these in. We've done all of these already. So behind this section of the top ramp, the bottom ramp that we placed in, we do have a little bit of a block off here, just to make sure nothing is going to smash through that structure. So for this we just have our edited floor like so, and we've got our edited cone on top which is pointing to the southeast, and that is pretty much that side, and just place a wall on this side of it as well. So that is there. We've covered all of this lot and everything going up through here. So if I just come up this point. Okay, so all of this up to this point here has now been done and filled in. So once you've completed all the rest of those, come over to this floor tile which we've got in, and at this point you are then going to move forward and you're going to do some block off here as well. So we've got our edited floor like so, and our edited cone on the top which is pointing to the southeast. And you're going to do one exactly the same on the left hand side of that. Make sure you do surround them in walls as well, and that will cover those. And you will do a second row on that as well of exactly the same, the edited floor, the edited cone on top, and surround it with walls. So once you've done these 4 squares, now the next one along, because there is this ramp underneath here, we do have underneath here we have some floor pieces like so, which there's no traps or anything under here, so you can just place those floor tiles on, and then place some pyramids on top of those as well, and that is going to help to prevent anything getting up. Now around these 2 squares you do need to surround it with walls on these the left and in front of you and on the right. And what I have done is I've put a broadside on both the side pieces, and we've put some wall dance on the ones in front, and 2 ceiling pieces with ceiling electric fields on top of that. And that point then is going to fetch you up to the end of your actual traps and your block off. But we've got one other section here as well. Because we have our man-made ramp going up there, then we need to block that off as well, just to make sure that nothing is going to try and break through any of these to come up this direction. So in between these 2, so these are already in, and they are already in as well. So in this blank row that you have, you're going to put in your edited floor, but it's going to be pointing now in the north direction, with the edited cone pointing to the northeast, and surround it with a wall. And you will do exactly the same then on the other two squares here as well. So that will block those two sections off and make them so that they can't get through your trap tunnels. So that should cover all of your traps and your block offs and lobber shields and everything for your amplifier B from the east. So I hope you do find this useful. If you do, don't forget, you hit that like down below, smash that subscribe before you go, turn on the notification bell, you'll always get updated of my content. You can check out the playlist, which will be linked in the description, cover all of the other amplifiers and the builds for them. And it will also have links for my Discord, my Twitter and my Twitch, where I do stream quite regularly. If you do find these useful, please consider using code RiverFox, as it will help me out a great deal. But until the next one, I hope you have a lovely day and stay safe, my friends.